Hello, Big Daddy Fun here. Thank you for joining me for today's video. I am here at the Zombie Piglin Gold Farm, and we've been spending some time here, and it works extremely well. Uh, the only problem is that the piglins spawn, but there is actually a fix, but we're not going to do that fix. The fix would be to go and replace all the spawning area with magma blocks, and it took us an awful long time to get all the green, white, pink, and gray concrete out there. And quite honestly, I am happy with the way it looks, and I am not wanting to try to farm for all the magma blocks that we would need. And so we're gonna just leave the farm as it is, and it works well. So all we have to do is periodically come up here and find a piglin. And of course I'm not going to be able to find one right now. And look at that, there's one. But I want to be careful because I really don't want to hit a zombified piglin, because I don't want to start this. And you know what, I'm going to just let it go. So all we have to do is shoot a piglin while we're up here. There's one right here, and then they all come over and they all end up falling down into the hole there and dying. So it's not really a problem. And so we do have a problem, however, and I'll take you down here and I'll show you just exactly what I'm talking about. So if we go down here into the storage area, you see this chest is full of mostly swords except for one piece of rotten flesh. This one is most of the way filled with swords again, and the same with this one. This one's got, you know, several swords in. This one's full of swords. This one's most of the way full of swords. This one has a fair amount of swords, and then there's two crossbows. Those are the first two crossbows that we've gotten from here. We haven't gotten very many crossbows. And I have a total of 12 furnaces here that we could start smelting these swords with, but we don't have any coal and or any other fuel source in those furnaces, so we really can't smelt anything in there right now. If we were to take a sword, I want to take one that's not enchanted, and stick it in there right now, you can see nothing happens. And so that's where the problem comes in at, because I am running extremely low on coal and other fuel sources from smelting all the sand to make glass, so that we with the scaffolding here, it's kind of hard sometimes to get up through that trapdoor. So in order to smelt all the glass, because you can see it took an awful lot of glass, and then glass up in the top, plus I used quite a bit of glass for the bee farm and to make all the bottles, and I still don't really have as many bottles in there as I would like. So we have a problem as far as a fuel source, because back at the house all that I have is about maybe a stack and a half of coal blocks. So I'm gonna head back to the house. I'm gonna put some stuff together, and then I'm gonna meet you over at Central Base, and we're gonna start working on a solution for this. So when I came back through the portal, I had a little bit of a problem. There was all these zombified piglins and I could not see the fence gate. I had to try to figure out for a little bit what I was going to do, how I was going to get out of there. And so, because I couldn't see the gate and I couldn't get to it to open the gate, so I just went to the rockets and I flew out of there. And so I'll show you real quick what it looked like from the inside. So I have a little bit of a dilemma. I came through the portal here at Central Base. I saw parts of the fence. If I could just get to it. So this is apparently full of zombies, or zombified piglins. Alright, so I'm over here at Central Base, and I already did most all the work on the kelp farm. So there's a few more things that I have to do, but I want to explain to you exactly what I did and how I did it, and so you can build one of these yourself. So basically what you want to do is place 2 sand down, and then 6 hoppers going into some smokers. And actually no, those, yeah, smokers, you want the smokers. I was thinking for a moment that I wanted the blast furnaces, but you want 2 smokers coming here at the end. Then above the middle hoppers you want to place 2 glass panes, and then going back 1 and up 1 you want to place 2 glass panes, and then above these 2 glass panes, skipping a space, you want to put 2 fences. Then directly behind the sand you want to put 2 dispensers. Above the dispensers you want to put 2 hoppers, or 2 pistons, and then above that you want to put 2 observers facing in this way, and then just to the one side of one of those pistons you want to put an observer again facing in, and then you just want to fill it in with whatever building blocks you want to use. In this case I was using blue concrete, some stone bricks, and some birch planks. Okay, so now on the outside here in the back, right behind the dispensers, you want to run some redstone going out through, and then you want to bring it up one with some glass, and then you want to wrap that around over to this dispenser. Behind the pistons you want to put some solid blocks, 3 of them, and run redstone on top of there. And then the other thing that I did was I put some temporary blocks building up to about that block there, and then I put a sticky piston on and attached another building block on there. It came off of the building block in the top with another building block and put a lever on there. So now what happens is when you push that, it drops that building block down and cuts off the redstone there. If you lift it up you can see the redstone goes across. If you drop it down you can see the redstone's not going up across. Okay, so that is the basis of this whole build. It's fairly simple. If you're half decent with redstone, you're going to be able to figure this out. I am not really great with redstone, but I happen to figure this out. And so what happened was I was trying to do a kelp farm, and I was using some different methods from some people on YouTube, and honestly none of them was really working all that well for me. And so I ended up where I just kind of started playing around. And with this method, you're going to need an awful lot of bone meal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly up here to the mob farm. Well, that didn't work out very well. And one more, and that should get us up here to where we need to be. Okay. Alright. So it just so happens that with our mob farm, you can see these are all bone blocks. And we've got a number of bones in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these down. And, you know, let me just fill that last space up with another bone block, or another bone. And then we're going to fly back down here. So I think since my inventory is so full, I'm probably going to need to get rid of some of this bone. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, before I start anything up, I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to go ahead and put bone meal into both of these dispensers. Okay, so I think that one's full. Let me just fill this one up. This other one. Grab these bones out. And I also want to grab a couple hoppers then, and I have some in the building then that I'm going to grab. Let me finish up with this first. Okay, so you want to fill your dispensers up with bone meal. Let me run in and get those hoppers real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So what we can do is we can come on the side here, and we can place a hopper in there. And then what we can do is place one chest on top and another one there. And so we can have a double chest. So now if you put some bone meal in that chest, it'll go down into the hopper, and then it'll go into that dispenser. And then if you come over here and place a hopper into the dispenser there, and then place a double chest on top here, you can place the bone meal in there. That way you're going to always have a pretty good supply of bone meal. Okay, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to go around the front here. We're going to grab our water, and we're going to just go up here and place it right there, and place it right there. Now when your dispensers, or when your pistons keep going off like that, you can just come here and click that off, and that'll stop that. And so now the dispensers, or the pistons, will be turned off, and they won't keep on doing that. So I also wanted to mention that you want to make sure you have coal or some kelp blocks in the smokers, so that they will smelt or they'll dry the kelp out right away. So what I did was I went ahead and I placed the kelp in those two spots right there. And so now what we're ready to do is we are ready to go ahead and turn this on. So you're going to see when you turn this on, nothing really happens. But when you take some bone meal and place it here, now all of a sudden you see the kelp farm is running pretty good. I gotta get the blocks out of there. So I'm not really sure why it's not going. Let me take these two hoppers away. And I'm not sure why those are not going into the... Oh, I know why. Okay. So, what we want to do is, in order for that to cook the kelp right away, or dry the kelp out, we need to have that on the top. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to do this. So now we're going to put half the kelp in there, and we're going to put half the coal in there. And we're going to put the kelp in there right like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just take this away, and I'll probably place something there so that we can drop down. So now if we turn this back on and put our bone meal down here, we can come in here, and our kelp farm is going to be running. You can see that number goes up and then goes down as this one does the same. Alright, you know what, I might just do this because we can still access the smokers. So I came up with this idea in a creative mode, and I ran a test for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I found out that each one of these will do about 3,000 kelp per hour. And so at this point, we are going to definitely have a fuel source, and I might even build this off to the side and make another one over on the other side. So it's very simple to do. Believe me, if I can do this, you can do it. And it's very simple to build. It's just going to take an awful lot of bone meal. As you can see, that chest is empty now. And with this, all you need to do is just turn that off, and then it'll stop. And so if you want to turn it back on again, all you need to do is just turn this lever back on, and then come up here and bone meal the kelp again, and it'll take off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off because I want to get some more bone meal. I definitely miscalculated on how much bone meal it's going to take. But anyway, you can see that in just a short period of time, we had a pretty good amount of kelp that came off of there. It is not a zero-tick kelp farm, but it is pretty doggone close, and it uses a whole lot of bone meal. So let me go grab some more bone meal, and we're going to run this a little bit more and just see exactly how much we can get in, say, like about 10 minutes or so. So I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, so I am back. What I did was I filled both the chests up in the back here that feed into the dispensers. They are both completely full with bone meal, and so this is all ready to go. Let me grab a little bit of bone meal here. I need at least one piece to get this started. And so what I'm gonna do, you can see again where the sun is, and so I am gonna pop the lever, and it already took off on itself. Because here's the thing with this design, let me move back a little bit so it's not quite so loud. With this design, when the kelp grows and hits that observer up in the top there, it will still work. The other thing I did was I replaced the smoker that was over here with a chest. So we're going to see, I emptied both of them out before I started that up. And so we're going to see in about 10 minutes how much kelp that we get. Let me head up to the mob farm, and I'll check back in with you in about 10 minutes. Okay, so it is just a little under 10 minutes at this point. I've been watching the clock on my computer, and that's how I know. And you will get some kelp that will fly outside of the kelp farm. Let me go ahead and I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to take a look and see what we got. And I have a feeling this is why I came down just a little bit early, because I think this smoker is going to probably be full of dry kelp, which it is. And oh my, yeah, okay. So we got almost 9.5 stacks in 10 minutes. So it's almost a stack a minute of kelp that will come in. And so if you're going to be doing this, you're probably going to want to put more smokers to it, because smokers will not keep up with it. And so that's why I kind of did it the way I did it, because I didn't want to have a whole bunch of these going into just one smoker, because I knew it was going to fill up pretty quick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of build around this and try to make this look a whole lot more presentable, because this over here like this just doesn't look real good. So let me work on that, and I'll be back in with you in just a little bit. Alright, so I have done some work on the kelp farm, and I'm actually quite pleased. You might notice that down in here I placed some slabs so that we can walk around, and I also placed some all the way over to here to where the iron farm is. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this iron and those poppies. But anyway, I'm going to take you back over here, and I'm going to show you. This is what I came up with. It's been a little bit of a transformation, and I'll show you just exactly what I did. So I put some stone brick slabs here going into the furnaces, and then what I did was I placed a hopper coming out of the furnaces on each side, and put a double chest on top so that the fuel can go into those two chests. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull some of this kelp out. I've been running the farm, and let me convert that to some kelp blocks. And then I also have a chest here for storage, so I'm going to put the extra kelp up there. Then I'm going to put about half the kelp blocks in there and half in there. And so then you'll see the you can see the number increasing a little bit on that. I was able to catch that. So then the other thing I did was I just put some acacia trap doors in front of the hoppers to try to hide that. And then I put some acacia stairs there. I changed the fences to acacia wood. And then up here I just put some acacia stairs up there to create the kind of loop around, and put some acacia fences hanging down with some lanterns. On the corners I used some the new item in Minecraft, chains hanging down, and then I have lanterns. You can see I did that on both sides. So for the foundation going around, I mostly used stone brick. Down at the bottom I used, I believe that's chiseled stone brick. And then I just used the stone brick, and I placed some mossy stone brick down at the bottom, and kind of intermixed that in there along the way. Here I used a cracked stone brick to kind of imagine that you come here to this chest quite a bit, and that, you know, by going over that, it kind of made that get cracked. So let me go in the back here. I'm going to turn this off real quick, just to keep the noise down. So then the next thing I did was I put some blue concrete going sort of as a border most of the way around. Used a lot of blue concrete here in the front to go around the section here, and then I put some acacia wood in, and here I used some acacia slabs, and it's kind of hard to see, but I actually have some birch wood behind it just to kind of give it a little bit more of a pop here. So then in the corners here I use stripped birch wood, and the ceiling I actually do have birch up there, birch planks, but for the most part you really don't see that. And then in the corners here I put some acacia trap doors just to kind of give it a little bit more of some depth. And so anyway, then what I did over in the side here, for this chest here, I ran a hopper coming up from the hopper that was there, and then another hopper coming over so I could bring the chest a little closer to the wall here. And then I just put some acacia stairs here to kind of bring it in. I would have used some blue concrete, but blue concrete you can't make into stairs. And then I also did acacia stairs over here just to add a little more depth to it, and again used the chains and the lantern. And then in the back here where the on-off switch is, then I just went ahead and I put a sign here, and so I think it's turned out pretty nice. It's probably, I'll be honest with you, I think it's probably one of my better builds so far. But still, I am just not what I consider a great builder, but I think I can do okay. So now what I would like to do with this is, in the end, I would like to get rid of the furnaces out here and actually make it so that the water will just flow down, come over here, flow over, and of course this will be underground, and then join up with this water flow that's over here. I think it's like right in around here, and flow down into the bottom of the building over here, and have like a bunch of smokers in there to automatically dry the kelp out. So let me throw these kelp blocks in here. So, but anyway, I hope you like this build. To me, it's a real simple kelp farm. It's very efficient, and if you can set it up with multiple smokers for each side, it would be really helpful. And it really does take a bit of bone meal. I want to thank you for joining me for today's video, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I just hope that if you decide to do it, that it goes well for you, and you get quite a bit of kelp from it, and it helps you out. So anyway, I will catch you next time, and until then, I'm Big Daddy Fun. And I need to go in and get some sleep to avoid the mobs. I'm Big Daddy Fun.